Beyond Lumina, Episode 23, Return. This is a special news update. In a swift change of course, the Tansorian Federation has chosen to withdraw all support from the Free World Alliance and the Royal Ascendancy, namely in the current system-wide manhunt for former Alliance Lieutenant Aezic Zin. Though it was a unanimous decision by the heads of the Federation worlds, the decision has nonetheless received great pushback from many regional governors, including the governor of Hobbelin, Sor, who states, "This decision only marks us as a target of both of the other three powers, and during a time of heightened conflict, no less." The governor went on to say, "Each Federation world will now have to be on high alert for any signs of an attack, or they may face the same fate as Riddikin. As always, we will keep you covered with any further information here on the Tansorian News Network." The moon of Ni, orbiting the planet of Bruniel, was a wonder as far as independent worlds go. Nearly the entire surface in the modern day was covered with biodomes suitable for human life, and the population of Ni, as well as Bru and Al, was equivalent to that of Kostia. Technologically, in many areas, they even outdid the primitive Ascendancy world. The Kostian citizens aboard the Ravinian frigate, including Artis, were in complete awe of the sight as they landed, despite the overwhelming sorrow all felt over the fact that they had lost their own home. Glaus's spiritual guidance was all that kept the other Kostians from complete despair. "Do not forget," the Fodor told them. "Enchelin had prophesied the destruction of our world many times. We must thank Omnis and the One that we were not destroyed along with it. And not only that, but the rest of our people were saved from the calamity as well. Our people will go on, and we are now perhaps not as bound by the Ascendancy as we were before. Just maybe," he said. "This was Omnis's will all along, to free the Word, as it is written." Glaus, however, was not able to lift Vala's spirit. She was completely distraught. She felt alone. If Aezic can't trust me or the Alliance, she thought, then who am I supposed to trust? Over the course of the many rotations the group spent together, and all they've seen, Vala, too, began questioning the Alliance, especially once she began to trust Aezic more and more, and when Malun suddenly appeared on the pre-space planet looking for her. It made her question the attack back on Sotama, and whether she truly was safe from the consequences of helping Aezic. Aezic didn't plan to wait long on Ni before heading out with Jay and the other Ravinians back to the fleet, but Zario had made contact again with Villainy, who told him that the Kostians coming from their doomed world were nearing Bruniel as well. Aezic decided he would wait to say goodbye to Villainy and Usion, but in the back of his mind thinking more about seeing Greenie, the Kostian woman he had met, one last time before perhaps never seeing any of them again. Glaus knew this too, took Aezic aside once they were safely on Ni. "I cannot thank you enough," the Fodor began, "for all you've done for my people and me, Aezic. You are a truly remarkable person." "You're welcome," Aezic replied warmly. "But I suppose we did owe you one, so no need for thanks. I'm sorry we've come to this point, where you've all been driven from your world and made outcasts in the system. I don't know what will be in store for you all in the future. The Ascendancy will not take too kindly to Bruniel housing you if you're found here. Your people may be forced to scatter if you want to survive. But honestly, Fodor," Aezic's face became even more grave, "I trust you enough to tell you that it doesn't seem there's any safe place left to go." Fodor Glaus stared at him intently. "The Alliance and Ascendancy are in every capacity working together. That means only the Federation and the independent worlds are safe, and we don't even know how many of those are secure. That goes for Bruniel, too." Glaus's face went pale. "What do you mean, Aezic? Is that why they are both pursuing you? What is it about you that is of such interest to them, anyway?" "I wish I had those answers too," Aezic replied, but I don't. I have no idea what's going on, but it's much bigger than just that, and the pieces seem to be coming together slowly. That's why I need to go immediately with Lieutenant J and the others. I understand, and I pray to Omnis. We will all be praying that you do find the answers and can help bring some semblance of peace back to Lumina. It seems you may have been chosen for a great many things, just as I suspected way back when we met. I appreciate it, Aezic answered, trying not to end their journey together on a sour note. I fear Ravina may be our last hope. Artis then interrupted the two. Oh, I'm sorry, he began. I just came to let you know that the others have arrived safely in local space. That's great news, thank you, Aezic said to the boy. We will be leaving after I say goodbye to my friends that we left back there. And what about Vala? Photoglass asked him. I'm sure she won't hesitate to come with Zario, Aezic replied coolly. You understand now the problem, though, don't you? I understand your hesitancy, Glass started, but I have had my share of conversations with her, and it would be my humble opinion that she is more loyal to you than her superiors. She is indeed quite distraught over the situation, not because she was discovered, but because she feels she has lost you, Aezic. Aezic thought, then answered. Before this all started, I would have trusted her without question after all we've been through. Now I've been betrayed too many times. For the safety of those I care about, I'm done trusting those I do not know. You and Artis, he nodded to the young man, still standing in the doorway, are two exceptions to that. I don't think I've met two more honest people in my life, but that's all. I trust my brother, I trust Jay, and that's where it ends. I still have my sisters and all of my people to worry about, now that our military has been nearly wiped out, and now that we are the primary target. That sounds like a great responsibility, with very little support, Glass said, if you are only willing to trust two others. You may find that leads to an even darker path than you feel you're on now. Glass reached into one of his robe's hidden pockets and produced a small talisman. I'm sure you will find it silly, since you do not believe in anything I say regarding Omnis and the One. But if not for religious significance, take this as a token of our friendship. And if you do feel like you've run out of those you can trust, remember that we are there with you, at least in spirit. And even more, perhaps you'll remember there's one even greater that is always with you, and hoping to walk with you through all of the darkest times. Aezic took the talisman from Glaus. It was some type of crude metal, not synth metal nor Aetherium, and not necessarily intricate, though it was well carved. The circular token looked to depict two connected rings, with one larger ring in the center of them, and some writing inscribed around the edge that Aezic couldn't read. He was sort of curious about what it said, but didn't want to prolong the religious discussion more than necessary. Thank you, Voter, and I will not forget you. Perhaps we will meet again, once this is all over. Zario and Vala had already gone out to local space with the other Kostian civilians in one of their frigates, and met up with Villainy and Usion. Slaughter Clarence, too, was on the ship with them. Zario embraced his longtime friends as soon as they boarded. Man, have I got a couple stories for you guys. Yes, same here, Villainy said with a smile. We were worried about you all. Now what about the others? Are we going to find them? Yes, and we will find them, Zario replied. We'll just have to see if these fine Kostian folks will lend us one of their ships for the journey. You think they're back in Ravina? Villainy asked him. Like you said before, Usion, Zario started. Ravina will be the best place to start, at least. Hopefully we can keep off the Alliance and Ascendancy signals long enough. I'm sure they're both still looking for us. It's worse than that, said someone who had just entered the Kostian vessel, along with two others. It was Aezic with Glaus and Artis. Ravina is in the middle of a war right now, but I do have some good news for you. The rest of your crew is all alive and safe there. What? Are you serious? Zario said elatedly. Billy and Usion also expressed their glad surprise. Sorry about Ravina, though, Zario continued. So that means it's not exactly going to be easy getting there. How did you find out what's happening, the Sarge? Jay's actually been promoted to lieutenant in the wake of us losing so many of our soldiers, but yes, Aezic answered. They're currently at a facility in Bikaron, much like the one we were at in Animov with my brother, Captain Aezic Zin. You are all welcome to surrender yourselves to him and the Ravinian military there and be reunited with them. Once we are there, perhaps we'll see about future arrangements, but the Alliance officer is not welcome. He didn't even look at Vala when he said this. Alright then, Zario said uneasily. Thanks, I guess. The brother of yours is a pretty strict captain, huh? He too was promoted because of our losses, Aezic answered, just like everyone else who survived. Those orders come directly from me. I'm the new general and head commander of the Ravinian military. Corporal, rally the squads, Malun commanded Dodds aboard the Triptych. We're gearing up and launching. Dodds could tell something had changed about his commanding officer. He just couldn't quite tell what. At once she seemed more confident, yet more fearful. Contacting the rest of the crew, he, Tice, Kizawap, Zawapika, Uxkothlo, and Mariad manned their fighters along with Malun and took flight into the Ravinian sky as dawn slowly crept upon Bikaron. The battle had begun shortly before, as the Alliance sent a cruiser with 6 large frigates, each of which included a fighter squadron. The Triptych was among these, not, however, part of the commanding officer, Lieutenant Feiner's platoon. The Alliance ships engaged what they took to be Ravinians and Ascendancy with full force, not taking them fully by surprise, since they detected the initial scouting the Alliance had done. The ships currently defending Bikaron outnumbered the Alliance ships, but with a quick, coordinated effort, the Free World was able to shoot down a few of the vessels before the firefight even began. Once the Alliance ships were fully engaged with the enemy, they released the fighters, which numbered about 3 dozen. Back within the facility, Captain Aezic Zin of the Ravinian military and Kama Rokes of the Ravinian rebels coordinated their defensive, sending out all available ships and re-engaging the bunker's shields and weapon systems. The mercenaries, Hawk, Valanth, Mecha, and Argyle, were now stuck in a holding room in the bunker, awaiting the outcome of the fight. Not long into the battle, Sergeant Major Ravim's communications were opened aboard the Triptych with Lieutenant Feiner and the other Alliance commanders. This is futile for the number of forces we have available. We need to pull out before we sustain too many losses or we won't be able to hold Panya, said the lieutenant. Recall your squads and let's get back. We'll lay down cover fire for your retreat. The Ravinian soldiers and rebels weren't interested in pursuing, so as soon as the Alliance began to retreat, they came back to a defensive position. Malun and her squad were mostly unharmed, save for Uxkothlo's ship sustaining enough damage that he had to return to the frigate early. They all made it back aboard the Triptych, and after helping the last few frigates, the Alliance forces quickly fled away. Lieutenant Feiner then contacted the whole platoon again. Okay, we did what we could. While the captain and general hold at Panya, we are going to join the rest of our ranks at the canyon. The Ravinian soldiers and rebels celebrated back within the Bikaron bunker's command room. Had 'em running scared, no problem, Velma announced confidently. The others agreed. Azor was a little less sure. It seemed too easy, he thought out loud. Why put so much effort into attacking us if they're going to retreat so quickly? Why wouldn't they send more ships in the first place after scouting us? Is it all they had to spare? I have a bad feeling this isn't the end. Next will come the other side of the coin. He turned to Koma. You better make sure those Ascendancy ships you were using aren't still linked to their systems. How'd you do it here? It was those mercs that hacked the Ascendancy link, Koma answered. We'll need them if we're going to check them. Just the one who can disable them, Azor ordered. They may have been helpful so far, but my brother has been in danger ever since meeting them, and until I find out what they want with him, I can't trust them fully. Hurry and check the ships. Yeah, you got it, Thomas said, then left to find the mercenaries. Yo, Neo Knight. Hawk leaned against the wall, greeted the rebel leader as he entered. Yo, Bo. Coma replied. Can I bother you to help me with something a sec? Sure, maybe. Hawk stood up. What do you need exactly? I need you to help me make sure these Ascendancy ships are safe for my men to use, Coma said. Can you do that? Yeah, I think so, Hawk answered. Would make us all a whole lot safer anyway. So does that mean just me? Unfortunately, yeah, Coma told them. Cap still has questions for you all. I'm sure we can clear this up once we have a minute to breathe. Sure, Hawk agreed, though he wasn't actually too sure what any of them would think if the whole truth came out. Let's get going then. Before they left, though, Coma stopped. Oh, by the way, he began. Word around the compound is that the rest of your friends are alive and well at Brunio. They were even told they could join you here, and should be leaving there shortly. Let's just hope they have a safe trip. Hawk, Valanth, Mecca, and Argyle looked at one another both astonished and overjoyed to know that Zario, Filony, and Usion were okay, and that they would all be together again soon. The past couple of nights now, Vala began relating more of her experiences to her new confidant, Soddert Lawrence. I've barely been able to sleep. I can't stop regretting keeping that communication device for even a second. I feel like I've let down more than just Aezic. And when I finally do sleep, I keep having dreams of my mother or father or brother or some other loved one, warning me of some danger, but the scenarios change and the danger is never clear. All I know is that complete terror and dread comes over me. I picture Ravina, I think, and then I wake up in a cold sweat with my heart pounding. I see, Soddert Lawrence replied, studying her new young ward's face. It is not all too uncommon for Omnis to reach out to us through recurring and meaningful dreams. Of course, we must consider it's just as easily your inner self relaying that guilt that you feel. You must try to forgive yourself, even if it may be difficult, even if you made a mistake. Only then can we perhaps learn more. And perhaps if you wish to ask for Aezic's forgiveness, you must also go back to Ravina in the first place. If Omnis is indeed speaking to you, part of his message does seem to involve going to Ravina anyway. You're right, said Vala. If the Alliance really has been infiltrated, I need to make sure my own squad and my commander are okay. Maybe I can even find out more, even if I can't go with the others. I won't be on my own once I reach Tyson and my other subordinates. And you will never be alone, Vala, Lawrence added. Remember that Omnis is with you, and the One, watching and guiding you through all your ordeals, especially with such a great task ahead of you. What task is that? Vala asked her. I don't know, Lawrence answered, but it is very clear to me now that Omnis has plans for you and your friends. You've already begun to reshape the world as we know it, and there's no doubt that you fight on the side of truth and justice. Anyone who does that, whether they know it or not, is fighting on the side of Omnis. You are at the center of this battle between good and evil, and we are all praying you can succeed, for the sake of all people of goodwill left in Lumina. I do not know what I can do, Vala sighed, but I will try to do whatever I must. As Vala, Zario, Filony, and Usion prepared to leave for Ravina, Glaus, Artis, and Tlarens once again came to say their goodbyes. Be careful, all of you. May Omnis go with you, the Foder said in a bit of a concealed blessing. I must warn you all, because I believe you are all genuine, whether Aezic does or not. He trusted me with this information, and in trust, I pass it to you. Beware of the Free World Alliance. They are not only a threat to you, but a threat to us all. They and the Ascendancy are working together, and you cannot trust them. This is why Aezic had a hard time trusting you after they found the device, my daughter. he said to Vala. It seems as though nearly the whole system is against the Ravinians and the Tensorian Federation, and it's unclear who in the Federation and other planets hasn't been turned. But he needs you right now, Vala. He needs all of you. Go in haste, and join him once more when he arrives on Ravina. Thank you for everything, Voter, Vala said to him, and goodbye. She couldn't fight back a few tears. I should be the one thanking you, Val smiled, and goodbye. Something tells me, though, that we will meet again soon, my dear. Aezic, sir? Rini blushed when she made it to knee with the other Kostians, and saw Aezic approaching her. She waited all this time to see him again, and now that he was here, she didn't even know what to say. Thank you so much for rescuing my father, for everything. I knew you would. And I'm sorry for those things I said to you. I didn't mean them. I was just so worried at the time. It's okay. And there's no need to thank me, said Aezic. I'm glad I was able to help, and I'm sorry about what I said too. And I'm happy your people are safe, though sorry for what you're all going through now. Thank you, Rini replied. I believe my people are strong enough, at least in spirit, to make it through this. If it wasn't for you and your friends, we would all be gone now. The question now just remains, what will we do now? Aezic wasn't sure if he agreed with the last statement. If he hadn't met them at all, the Kostians would still probably be safe and secure on Kostia, none the wiser about anything. They also, however, would have remained subjugated until the destruction of their world. Aezic thought for a moment. Perhaps we really were meant to be there and save them after all. Then dismissed the idea as silliness. Right now, it's hard to say where anyone can go that is still safe, Aezic answered her. But we will figure that out, don't worry. Aezic saw the hope in her eyes for the future and the faith she had in him. If there is no safe place, Aezic continued, then we'll make one. Then it finally occurred to him. In fact, your people would be welcome in Ravina, my homeworld. We are going to make sure Ravina doesn't fall to the enemy. And once we have secured it, I'll come back for you, for all of you. Aezic didn't know what he was saying. Up to that point, he could barely stand the Kostians and their religion. But there was something inside him when he was with Rini that said to him, you can't let anything happen to someone as innocent and beautiful as this. Almost there, General. It's going to take a bit to get used to calling you that, sir, Jay said to Aezic as they approached the null zone, where the rest of the Ravinian fleet was still located. The trip wasn't a long one. We might not be able to restore your lost memories, but I'm sure you'll be glad to be rid of those headaches after you get them treated properly. Aezic was aroused from his daydreaming about saying his farewells to Rini. Coming back to reality, he saw the Ravinian flagship poised in the empty space, the bastion of safety for many of their people during the early days of the war on Ravina. Good, let's make this quick then, so we can get back to our homeworld and end this conflict. When Aezic boarded the flagship, he was immediately greeted by his younger sister, Aista, the older of the two Zin sisters. Aezic, oh Lumina, she started, embracing him warmly, tears rolling down her cheeks. I'm so glad you're safe after everything. Are you okay? That's what I was going to ask you, Aezic replied with a smile. But where are Ma, Pa, and Ama? I'm sorry, brother, Aista now said much more somberly. Pa died trying to save Ma and Ama, but they got them anyway, along with the other civilians. The soldiers tried getting them back after the first attack, once they discovered where they were, but they were routed, leaving our forces in their current state. We don't know where they are now, including Ma and Ama. We will find them, don't worry, Aezic tried reassuring her. For now, though, it's time we return to Ravina to reclaim what is ours. But first, said Jay, interrupting the moment, you should really get yourself checked out. Come on, I'll take you to the medical bay, then I'll go prepare us for the trip home. You'll have some more time to catch up on the way. Aezic agreed, and he, Jay, and Aista all went to the medical bay, where the fleet's medic was currently doing some busy work. She looked up from her desk when the three entered, then smiled when she saw who it was. Lieutenant J, I'm glad to see you've returned safely. And General Zin, it's good to have you back with us as well. Do one of you need a checkup, or are you just stopping in to see me? Of course that would be the case if I were off duty, Major Cordelia, Jay smiled back. But I'm afraid for now I'm just bringing the General by to see if you can do something about some headaches he's been getting. The memory wipe happened so long ago. Shouldn't be the cause of them at this point. Well, of course, Major Cordelia replied. I'll do whatever I can. Let's take a look at you, General. Jay left for the bridge as the medic, Major Cordelia, began running a series of tests on Aezic. You've certainly been through a lot recently, haven't you? She asked, noting the various different wounds healing all over his battle-weary body. You must have seen a few major fights. Cordelia trailed off, as the data station receiving information from Aezic's biocapsule showed a foreign artifact planted in his head. Oh no, General, this is very bad. I found the probable cause of your headaches. It's a tracking implant. High Master, the Ravinian ship with Aezic Zin has stopped at some location within the null zone, one ascendancy officer said to another aboard a ship, currently traversing deep space. Excellent, the High Master smiled. That must be where they've been hiding him. Let us go and bring them all down. He sent the location to the rest of the ships in his fleet. Attention, all battleships and cruisers. Advance to these coordinates and prepare to engage the Ravinian fleet. Leave none alive.